Hi, everybody. Well, tonight we have a special guest. His name is Brad Abbott. He is a musician from Pittsburgh. And we're going to find out a little bit more about Brad and see what he's up to. So, tell us a little bit about your background, Brad, and what made you or music, how you got into it, became a musician.
Absolutely. So growing up, I was always listening to music. My mom and dad both were heavily into like classic rock. And
Oh, yeah.
that's what pushed me a lot in the beginning. And one of my first and biggest influences was Elton John, actually. I think I heard the credits roll for The Lion King when I was like way, way little, like before I was even 5 years old. And that song was Can You Feel the Love Tonight? And from there, I got real into Elton John, learned a little bit about piano, but not too much. That fizzled out, and I started learning guitar in high school.
Oh, okay.
And, from there, I just kind of went in the rock direction. Started out actually with metal and really heavy stuff, and then totally changed everything I did when I just kind of couldn't find a band and just went solo acoustic. And from there, I haven't really looked back. I've been doing something like this.
Nice, nice. I didn't know that they taught guitar in school because of course, when I went to school, we just had like the, I guess, orchestra kind of things like viola, violin, and all that. So that's kind of neat that they.
Well, I guess to clarify, I didn't really learn guitar in high school. I learned guitar during high school.
Okay.
So I guess I should say that. That being said, though, back when I was in middle school, they did actually have some classical acoustic guitars.
Oh,
they had like 20 or so, and they did let us play them and taught us a couple simple songs on them back in middle school. So that was kind of neat. I did have some kind of experience like that.
That's interesting. Yeah, I like the idea that they do that because like lately, it seems like they're trying to take all these kinds of things away from the schools and.
It seems like music programs are the first thing to get cut. Music and artistic things of any nature seem to go by the wayside first, which I feel is a little unfair. But
well, it doesn't help in your development, I don't think, but that's my opinion. I mean, you have to have the arts.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So, so where would you would place your genre into classic type or classic music or classic rock?
No, I'm definitely not like a classic type.
Not classic, but I mean classic rock or
right. Yeah, classic rock holds a lot of my influences. Okay. But I always describe it as acoustic rock. I even have that as part of my logo, Brad Abbott Acoustic Rock. Just because I'm one dude and I am playing rock music, but I still want people to know, like, you're not going to get a big in-your-face sound with, the drums and the bass and all that. It's still kind of more calm, but I still try to bring some energy to it and rock out a little bit and jam a little bit. So.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Yeah. I was thinking about when you said Elton John, because I guess when I was I was just out of high school, and Tiny Dancer, that was like my favorite song. I can just hear that song all the time. That was my favorite of his. Well, at that time anyway. He's got so many good ones. So
he does. But Tiny Dancer is definitely one of my top 5 too. So.
Yeah, yeah, I like that one. So, what is your creative process like? Do you like write your own lyrics too, or do you write some music, or do you just play like covers?
So I do play covers for the live show, but I do write my own music too. I am a singer-songwriter, so lyrics and guitar is usually the foundation of what I do. I'll usually start on the guitar and get like a chord progression going, and then from there, that kind of gives me an idea of where the lyrics go, maybe what the topic of the song will be, how it's going to flow, and I can kind of run with it. However, lately, I have taken up piano. I started doing piano more seriously this year. And that's starting to become part of my creative process as well. Nice. So looking forward to kind of how that evolves what I do.
Yeah. I've always wished that I could be more musical. I tried with the piano, but my hand just won't coordinate with the other.
Piano is tough, coming from a guitarist perspective. It's a whole different monster, but it unlocks theory in a different way and kind of paints a picture in front of you in a way that's more clear to comprehend, at least for me. So it's helped me in that way. It's helped me kind of learn more the technical aspect of what I do. I never learned any kind of theory. I just played what sounded good. I knew chords and such, but I didn't know why they sounded good together or what chords to play next scientifically. I just kind of figured it out by the feel and sound.
Ah,
But now with piano, that kind of changes. I can kind of, learn more easily in that regard, and it's
oh,
opened up a lot.
yeah, it helps. It helps. You have to excuse my dog. My
Oh,
husband's practicing down there, so he's barking at the noise. Is
I'm actually kind of amazed at how quiet mine are being. I have two
that right?
myself, so that doesn't bother me at all.
This dog, we adopted him from Puerto Rico. I mean, he was a
Oh,
rescue. He was a rescue. And he never stops barking. I mean, all day long he's been barking. The door was open, because it's nice. So he's still going. He's going strong. So you think he'd lose his voice for a little bit.
all right. What kind of dog is he?
Well, he's a mix of we know he's part Shih Tzu,
Okay.
but I don't know what the other part is. His name's Grumpy.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, he's funny. He's a character. And then I have another dog who's really laid back. Her name's Sally. She's a Bichon, and she's just real laid back. And he's like frisky, and she doesn't know how to handle him.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, let me ask you: did COVID affect your music in any way, or were you still able to perform?
Actually, during COVID, I was kind of in a transition period. So there was a place I started playing at when I was young called the Keynote Cafe. And I had been playing sort of that type of gig, like showcase gigs, open mics, not really my own stuff. Someone else was usually putting it together. And then when COVID happened, I was in touch with another musician, Steve Hawk. I owe a lot of credit to him. And he was putting on his own kind of gigs, and he needed sound run. And at that point, I had been running my open mics for a little while. So he pulled me in the direction of getting actual solo gigs.
Oh,
And that's when I started doing everything. And at that point, being a solo singer songwriter, it was pretty easy to get booked because they couldn't have a full band because of the restrictions. So
okay.
having like a lighter crowd and less people on the stage meant that solo acoustic musicians such as myself and Steve were getting some opportunities. And then from there, we actually have kind of built. So we've benefited in a little bit of a way. As much of an unfortunate situation as COVID was,
Yeah.
there was a little bit of a way for us to kind of get in and get some gigs and
Oh, okay.
fill the space that was needed to be filled with the
Well,
restrictions in place.
that's good because most people, well, I know like the band that my husband was in, they couldn't play, and they were so good. And then, well, I don't know what happened, but half the band got dismissed and he started a new band. I don't know what I mean. So I mean, it was just like, so yeah, it was so disappointing. But yeah, no, like things open up, other things happen, so yeah, it all works out, I guess, in the end. But it's
Yeah, you just
unfortunate.
got to roll with the punches and do what you can.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Now, so I guess one of your favorite artists was Elton John, but did you have any other artists that you like really looked up to or
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Mhm,
So in a more modern sense, Augustana and Guster and the Goo Goo Dolls,
mhm,
a lot of bands from the '90s, I really look up to, and
mhm,
I think that comes through in my sound a lot.
mhm,
I grew up with a lot of that, so
mhm, mhm.
there's
Well,
definitely
you're a
something I like.
product of that year era.
Yeah, for sure. I think everyone kind of is in a
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
And then of
There's a
course,
lot of good
what
things
your
going
parents
on.
listen to, I think,
Yeah.
kind of shapes you a little bit as well.
Yeah, yeah. Now me with the classic rock, but my husband's in a new band where a lot of the 80s and 90s songs are intermixed in there. And yeah, you kind of like them. I mean, they still sound, the sound is the thing. Like a lot of the things that are out today, they're like not so great. The pop
Right.
music. I mean, it's all like I don't know what they distort the the sound, and everybody sounds good, and they, and
Anything that's too artificial.
yeah, it's artificial, and as long as you look good, I guess that's important. You
Yeah,
don't have to have the talent. So, and then I'm not a rap person, but a lot of people like that music, and I think that classic rock will always stay, and some
oh,
of
for
those
sure.
songs from the '80s and '90s will be here too for a while. So, yeah. So, well, tell us what's next for you then as a musician. What do you have lined up?
So for the past couple weeks, I've actually been spending a lot of time here in my home studio. I'm working on a handful of songs for recording. So
Nice.
last night it was drums, cajon
Oh,
and hand percussion I recorded, and we'll be moving on to bass after I get done here with this show you have here. Which thank you so
our
much for
little
having me on.
interview
This is
show.
really a privilege. I appreciate this.
Oh, good, good.
It's
Yes.
a very neat thing that you do.
Yeah, I really enjoy it, and I like to get people from Pittsburgh. I had interviewed other people before from around, and I just thought, Pittsburgh, we have such a great town, and there's so much talent here. So that's why I try to get as many as I could, from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, yeah, it's a
Um,
beautiful town with
Yeah.
yeah, as you said, a lot of talent surrounding, and
Yes.
I'm proud to be a part of it, man. It really is a privilege.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like it. Yes, I'm happy to have you here. So, well, I don't have any more questions. If you wanted to answer or say anything more, and then if you want to play a song now, that would be
Yeah,
great.
absolutely. Yeah, so I'll show you one of the songs that I'm working on recording right now.
Okay.
I'd love for you guys to follow along with me. So if you want to stay in touch with me, you can find me at bradabbott.music.com. Abbott is spelled with two B's and two D's, so ABBOTT.
Mhm.
I have all my work there. An album that came out in 2020, which is titled "How Are You?" That's my most recent thing. But as I said, working on some new stuff, and I'm going to show you one of those right now. So let me
Okay, great. Well,
grab the
I'm going to
guitar for
let
you.
you have the whole. I'm going to get out of here.
Oh,
Well, I'll still be here, but I'll be in the back. Okay. Oops, wrong way. Wrong one. Okay, this is. Why is this not going to let me do this? Wait, 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 wait.
hey. All right, let's try to get the guitar in the picture a little bit if we can. This is one of my newer ones. This one is called Tomorrow. What has the world become? We're glued to the screen, marching to the beat of our own drum. Just looking out for number one. Too much TV, all about me. What have you done? Hello, is there anybody home? I know I can't be alone. Hello, leave a message at the tone, and maybe it will save the world tomorrow. La, la, oh. We may not know one another, but we'll still judge each other as we ignore our mothers and take our own advice. Turns against our brothers, only to discover that we have nowhere to go and take it out on the ones we love. Now, hello, is there anybody home? Maybe we'll save the world tomorrow. Maybe we'll save the world tomorrow.
Very good. Awesome. That was very nice. Now, I got to ask you how you come up with your lyrics, because that's so like today. I mean, it's just the way it is. But do you get inspired? Like, do you dream a lyric, or does it just come pop in your head? Or
I've never dreamed one. I wish I could. That would be awesome. But no, a lot of things are inspired by what's around me. I have another song called The TV, which I think you would find again is very much about the times and just about how divided we are and how distracted we are and how we don't really care about anything. Not all of us, of course, but
yeah, it's mostly self-centered.
Yeah, there's a lot of just a lot of disregard for other individials, I'll say.
Exactly. Well, let me ask you about your guitar. Let me ask you about it. That's all I can say. Boy, sometimes my words just don't come out, but
this is what we're playing today. This is a Taylor 324 CE. I got this one last year. I've been playing the Taylor guitars for a while. I really like the way they sound live. So I've become kind of attached to them. And this one in particular, this is my first USA made one. So it's got, for the gear nerds out there that want to get into details, it's all solid wood. So that kind of gives it a more natural feel, even if it's all in my head. There's something about it being, all cut from a real tree and less glue. And it's also the prettiest sounding guitar, in my opinion, that I have. So I've been playing it a lot lately.
Yes, it sounds very nice. Now, do you have to keep that stored at a specific temperature? Because I know sometimes a lot of these guitars have to be stored in a certain way.
Yes. Yeah. So actually, pretty much any guitar has to be stored in a proper environment. It's mainly a humidity thing, but temperature does play a role as well, but less so. So if you have an environment that's too wet or too dry, you'll have your wood either cracking or swelling in places, and that can throw a lot of things off, as you can imagine.
Your neck.
Yeah, it'll throw the neck off. It can make your frets uneven, so it can make the edges over here stick out and kind of grab your fingers when you're playing. That's very unpleasant. I've had that happen a few times prior to getting the room a humidifier. You can have bridges come loose, or not bridges, braces come loose, and then they'll rattle on the top of the acoustic guitars. That's a problem. So you can run into a lot of things with an improper environment, so you do have to keep them stored.
I know my husband's one bass, his neck is out, and it was such a nice bass. I mean, he spent quite a bit on it, and that neck, it can't straighten out for anything.
Yeah, for some reason, electric basses seem to be even more prone to it, especially with the neck thing. I don't know if it's something because of the higher tension of the thick strings, maybe, but there's definitely something about basses that makes them more susceptible to neck work.
Yeah. So, well, it's really nice talking with you, Brad. I'll put the links in the information section. So if people do want to get in touch with you, so if you could send me some of those.
Sure. I'll send them over to your Facebook if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
cool.
That'll be fine. I can actually look on Facebook, if you have those listed there. And,
I do, but I'll send them over just to make it easier for you. And I'll send a link to my website. And then from there, you guys will be able to find my social media and my streaming platforms. So it's really a great launching point for everything.
Okay, great. And this will air at 7:00 on Saturday in the evening. So if you can make it, that would be great. I don't know if you'll have a gig or whatever, but sometimes people have questions that they like to ask. I'll cut this part out, but I just wanted to let you know that. And it was really great talking with you. I enjoyed it.
Thank you so much. And thank you again, Mary, for having me.
Well, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. All right. We'll see you. Take care.
We'll see you. Thanks.
Bye-bye.